Hey, what's going on everyone? Dave here with something brand new. I just want to talk for a little bit. So, I've been reflecting on the channel and all that good stuff, and while I'm happy with, how things are going, and, it's more of a pet project to me than anything else, like monetization, all that stuff, that's like way down the line. I'm not really thinking about that right now. I'm just enjoying creating. And one of the things I was thinking about was the whole reason why I started on YouTube back when I was a high schooler. The reason I started running a channel was because I wanted to do what I was most passionate about at the time in my life, which was gaming. And gaming still is a huge passion in my life, otherwise I would not be doing what I do here on this channel. But if I'm being totally honest, I've developed so many more passions, and at this point in my life, there's a lot more to my life than just gaming. And if I pooled a lot of my interests together, a common denominator is that I'm obsessed with the idea of, maximizing potential and becoming better than the person you were yesterday. And I always think there's a next level to be reached. Ironically, that could be connected to my interest in gaming, which was my first big thing I was into. So for a long time, I've thought about writing a book, and I've started and stopped it many times in my life, just because you always get that imposter syndrome. Why would I write a book? Would anybody really be interested in this? And so, long story short, I started writing it, and if it's cool with you guys, I would like to share what I've written, because I think it also talks a lot about my perspective and the person I am right now. I only wrote a page and a half, but I want to bounce some ideas at you guys, and I may never even publish this, so I would like some concept of this to be out there while I'm working through it all in my head, you know what I mean? So without further ado, let's just get right into this. This is going to be a sample of my writing. I'm going to put up some sort of visual so that you're not just looking at me reading like this for the whole video. So I'll put something up. Maybe game footage, maybe something else. We'll come up with something. So if I'm being honest, I have no idea what I'm going to title this book. What I have as the document that I'm writing it on, I named it Better Than Yesterday, which is a good catch-all for what I'm trying to go for. But anyway, let's get into it. I've toyed with the idea of writing a book for a couple years now. I got pretty far in creating an applicable framework for a system to optimize one's life experience, but after taking a cursory glance, something just felt off. I didn't want to come across as another pedantic guru who's dealing out the ultimate secret or whatever. I've always wanted anyone who've crossed paths with me to discover a couple gems, concepts, ideas, or tactics that they may have not considered before, and apply those within the context of their life. The fact is, while I'm hellbent on optimizing my own performance and helping others to do the same, there is no one formula to this. Everyone has nuance. You have strengths that I don't, and I have strengths that you don't. You may have disadvantages that I can't even comprehend, and our respective perspectives may differ from a developmental level. I had been blessed months ago with a chance meeting with a guest at work. I work at Lululemon retail store. An editor specializing in nonfiction, so naturally me and my inquisitive self decided to pick her brain for a little bit, and after a thoroughly enjoyable conversation, she shared with me the suggestion to simply share my story and my perspective, rather than telling you what to do, I interpreted this as the journey that led me to the insights that I have now. Of course, me being lazy, that nugget sat in my unconscious mind like an old book covered in cobwebs, gathering dust until now. Thinking about it again, I thought, why not? By sharing how my thoughts came into being while peppering in my personal framework with all the theory and tactics, I could invite you not only to a less dogmatic presentation of the ideas, but allow you to have the agency to examine where we relate and differ on regarding certain areas. The connections are yours to make, and pretty much like Bruce Lee, you're welcome to absorb what is useful and discard what is unnecessary. It's one of the mantras I live by. My intention is that you carry away 1 or 2 pieces of gold that really affect an area of your life that you want to improve for the better. If somehow you find this book earth-shattering or life-altering, then hell, I didn't expect that, but all the better. If I have 2 goals, it's to A, inspire change, and B, contribute to the overall realm of self-whatever. You all have a buzzword, so put yours in. Self-help, self-improvement, betterment, actualization, fulfillment. You got one. I'll share tons of tactics and strategies, but often for the greatest results, I've found that it's not solely a matter of changing what you do, but also how you think that sets you on the right course. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. On one hand, you could assert that my discovery that limits could be shattered and that the opportunities for achievement are endless occurred way too late in life. After all, I decided to take my behavior off of autopilot midway through high school, and genuine internal self-awareness didn't occur till college. More on both of those later, by the way. And on the other hand, we could argue that such a perspective is the only one that I've ever known my entire life, due to one thing: video games. So I rag on my younger self a lot. As someone who's developed interests in things like fencing, martial arts, gymnastics, and ballet, all areas where the most adept people begin very, very young, I started in college into my early 20s. I beat myself up a lot for being a shut-in who did nothing but play video games and watch TV between ages 5 to 18. However, as I've come to realize through friends who also played video games or read fantasy novels when we were all young and impressionable, I can't help but muse if my perspective would have been the same had I not immersed myself in those interactive worlds. The more I think about my current perspective, not much has really changed from my mind in the real world now to my mind when I was playing a video game as a child. Naturally, I was always fascinated by the otherworldly environments where I was granted the ability to roam freely and powerfully through a realm that I knew I was destined to effect a great change in. Whether I was saving a princess from a fire-breathing dragon turtle, escaping a sci-fi dystopian slave plantation, or restoring balance to a kingdom overcome by darkness, I was always wondering, what can I do here? What's possible? And how high can I go? Now, of course, being a gamer, that settled me cozily into my real-world niche among the dorks in school, and like a good little sheep, I settled into my stereotype with aplomb. Socially awkward? Check. Introverted? Check. Complete ignorance to things like fashion and sports ball? Triple check. Fun fact, I still identify as a dork. I'm just way more proud of it now than I ever have been before. The reality was, I was a master of the realms that I would retreat into, and a complete dud in real life. You'll find that one of my most essential and valued personal values, that was redundant as hell, is a balance. And here was a boy whose perspective was hyper uncalibrated. And to be honest, at the time, I was pretty happy. Of course, there was the usual angst when you're a teenager and you get pissed off about all sorts of things in the world that you're living in, but I relished my time at home playing Mario, Zelda, Spyro, watching shows like Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Avatar: The Last Airbender. As I think about it more and more while writing this, that adventurous, curious, and ambitious persona may have always been there, just never before channeled the way I learned to in the real world now. So, an important question remains: what changed? What made me desire, I skipped it on the Word document. What made me desire to emerge into the mundane world I was mindlessly coasting through? I mean, sure, I was book smart, but I never had the drive to study and almost failed my classes due to not doing homework. Yeah, I was that annoying bastard who aced tests and never studied. Bite me. Something had to change at this moment in my life to open my perspective to what was around me. Like, yeah, it was gradual, like life doesn't work in overnight brain flips. It was a combination. I would say it was reliable friends, musical theater, and social rejection. And that's all I have right now. So, I wrote those last 3 big words to, give myself, an idea when I started writing again, where I would take this. So, yeah, that's what I have so far. Let me know what you think, if you relate maybe to my experience, if maybe you don't. As I'm reading this, one thing that I really don't want to come across is that, if you're still, all about the video games, that's A-okay. It was just the way my life experience panned out. I began wanting something more than what I was already immersing myself in. If you've remained happy reading books or immersing yourself in worlds, that's great. I'm really happy for you if that's what fulfills you, A+, because I'm still not fulfilled, so you're actually got a leg up on me on that one, but I really don't want it to come across like I'm holier than thou, I was once into video games and now I am not because I'm better. No, I'm still fucking into video games. I love that shit. Yeah, I want to convey that I'm still a dork. I still love what I loved as a kid, but something changed in my brain that made me want to go forward. Not forward, but just outside into the world and take whatever was inside me and experience it in the world, So again, my thoughts are all over the place right now because I'm in the middle of beginning writing this thing and I'm trying to really commit to doing it. No, I'm committed to doing that. No trying. That's bad. So I'm going to be writing this. I'm going to add more later and then I'll share with you guys what I have next, if that sounds good. Let me know if you want me to do this again or not. And if you want to follow more stuff like this, please comment, like this video if you like this video, because that is very clear signal to me, hey, yeah, we want more of this. I'm still going to do the gaming stuff because I'm committed to doing that 3 times a week. So yeah, if you want more stuff like this is way easier to make too. So I won't make more of it if I don't get a good reception, because I'll be oh, people don't want to see my stuff. That's okay. I want to show you guys what you want to see. So subscribe, whole nine, hit the bell so that you get a notification when I do all the, all this stuff at this point. So I'm not going to belabor that. So thank you so much for watching. And, I'm David, and I'm just a guy who loves video games and a lot of other things. And I hope you're having an awesome day. Take it easy. Bye.